So hello
That
and
was
welcome.
amazing.
Oh, did you like it?
I loved it. That was amazing.
Oh my gosh, you just made my day, and it's already been a
Uh,
pretty amazing day so far. So thank you. I'll let
okay.
my my songwriter know that it'll make her day too.
Okay.
So cool. So I am so excited to introduce our guest today. It's a very, very special show that is just a heartwarming story and all that goes with that, right? Because all
Yes.
heartwarming stories are full of challenges and courage and opportunities to choose to make a different choice. So that said, I want to welcome Dr. Maxine Hankins Cain and
Right.
and welcome Maxine and her son. He goes by Needles as his professional name and is a Grammy award winning producer and songwriter too, right, Khari?
Mainly on the production side, but I dabble in the songwriting
A
as well.
little bit, a little bit. Well, you certainly came by your love of music through your dad, I would assume. He's
Absolutely.
he's
Absolutely.
amazing. His collection of records is just astounding, and knowledge of
Yeah.
music. So, not to digress, they have a really interesting story that we are going to learn more about. And Maxine, let's start with you. So, tell me about your granddaughter.
My granddaughter is Makayla Renee Cain. She's presently 16 years old, but for 14 years of her life, she was nonverbal. She was silent, not communicating in any way. And then at the age of 14, Khari and his wife Manana came across what was called letterboarding or spelling to communicate. So Makayla began to communicate at the age of 14. So imagine 14 years of your life in your own world, not communicating with anybody. And so that was the genesis of when we found out how brilliant Makayla was. Makayla's first words to her father were spelled. And she said, Dad, do you see or hear or see colors with your music? And Khari says, is she talking to me? And
Mhm.
Roxy, her tutor, said, yeah, she's talking to you. And so
Mhm.
Khari says, yeah, I see burnt orange and red when I hear those drums. And then Makayla asked her father about the song that he was writing. So Makayla, for 14 years, had been well aware of all that was going on in her environment, but they didn't know that. And then her first words to her mother were, hi, Mom, this is your pretty girl, Makayla. We don't have much time to talk from day to day, or we haven't. But I want you to know that I am very, 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 very smart. I soak up knowledge like I soak up orange juice, and she loves orange juice. And I can go on and on about it. She
Uh,
says, because of my silence, people think I'm dumb. That hurts my feelings, but I understand though. So at age 14, that was their first time communicating with their daughter.
so, Khari, what was that like for you as a dad? Is she your first child or she the
No,
oldest?
she's our no, she's our middle child. It was surreal, to be honest with you. It felt like a miracle. It felt like it's funny how my wife and I kind of joked about Makayla knows how to read, ha ha ha. Or Makayla, because sometimes we'll be playing some music or something and in the car, and then maybe later on that day the same song would be on Makayla's computer, like on her YouTube or something, and we would joke and say, she's probably you know um, she probably can read and all this stuff, but it was more like a joke. And we never, there were so many, she's had so many challenges that we've had to overcome just with her, um, just with her, with her senses, like with her motor skills. We never really paid attention and or really taught her, you know, how to read, how to do math. Um, but somehow she picked up all these things, and she's a very poetic um, speaker, and she's really good at math as well. And I just think it's amazing that we were able to kind of start communicating with her now, and we're just still learning about her. She's 16 now. We're just learning more and more about her every day.
I can't even begin to imagine what it would be like as a parent where you couldn't communicate with your child and you
Yeah.
just didn't know. So um, that's
Yeah.
so. Tell me, since you've found that, um, you've discovered that, and she's able to communicate now. A lot of really cool things have happened since then. So
Absolutely.
yeah, and I think Maxine. So I should say Maxine, and I've known Maxine for at least 10 years, and we've
Yeah.
been we've been working on some phenomenal projects, educational project, character education projects with students, and that journey of watching them evolve is magic, right? It's magic.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and Maxine and Doris, one of our other partners on a project we're working on this summer, we went to South Africa last year together, and that
And
was
that was
so
wonderful.
yeah, that was just so eye opening. Again, it's like you just don't know what you don't know. So tell me, Maxine, you were watching a video last week that we didn't get to hear about. So tell us about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Khari and his wife, and I guess some partners, produced a documentary
Hmm.
that tells Makayla's story. And it's a document whereby every word in the document comes out of the mind, the body of Makayla. But because she can't speak, she had to choose someone to speak for her.
Okay.
This documentary is called Makayla's Voice, a letter to the world. And at the beginning of the video, you'll see where she rejects the first voice. She rejects the second voice. But the third voice is the voice of Portia Clue. And she tells a wonderful story that Makayla has given the world. And they've entered it into several film festivals. And Makayla has been the star of each of those
Oh my
documentaries.
gosh.
So, Khari, can you share with Miss Sherri the documents the film festivals that she's been in, and bring us up to date as to where she is now?
Wow.
Um, yes, it's been an amazing ride. Just to see that the film has been resonating with a lot of people. We started out in Utah at the Slam Dance Film Festival, where it won like honorable mention, um, and then it's just been all over the place. It's been in Cleveland, Florida. We just got into Rhode Island. One of the bigger ones was the Tribeca Film Festival, which we were fortunate enough to win. And all of these film festivals allows the film to be Oscar qualifying. So that's kind
Oh
of
my
like our
gosh.
yeah, that's like our big push now. And it's we're trying to figure out the best distributor for the film, just to allow as many people to see it as possible, and hopefully to inspire people. And then also we're making a big push to get nominated for an Oscar. So we've been in talks with a few companies. We're actually in a bidding war right now. We have another call later on today to figure out, which is the best scenario for not only for the film to be seen, but also for our partner to really campaign hard to get nominated and possibly win. So it's all really exciting. It's surreal. It was never the goal to even be in a film festival. We just did this piece as something to bring attention to her foundation, Makayla Moving Autism, and it's just kind of like one thing led to another, and it's been amazing to ride. It's been an amazing ride so far.
I can't imagine. So how has Makayla changed since she's been has found her voice?
I just think she's a lot happier. She's. I mean, you should see her now. Like she's been home on summer break, and she's just every time you see her, she's just smiling and beaming, and you know, the big thing for us, with her communicating is just like to know if she's hurt, if she's hungry, if she needs. Those are the core things and the main reasons for us to really wanting to be able to communicate with her, just to make sure she's okay and that she's happy but yeah, she's a very witty, funny kid. Like she loves music. She's been around music all the time. She loves art. Um,
She
her
loves
her
Van
favorite
Gogh.
yeah,
She
her
loves Van
favorite
Gogh.
favorite artist is
Van
Van
Gogh.
Gogh. Yeah.
He's pretty special.
Yeah, and once you see the film, you'll see how she really relates to Van Gogh and um the way he his approach to his art is very similar, and her opinion is very similar to how autistic kids kind of express themselves and feel. So it's a very, Makayla comes from a very deep, um, just a very deep level. Like even for simple things, she'll put it in a perspective that's just next level, and it's just interesting to hear how she thinks about things and approaches things. But at the same time, um, she's still an autistic child that has challenges as well. Like I mean, we're still potty training, and there's other things. So it's this big juxtaposition of that part of it, as well as her being this brilliant
Yeah.
mind and
Human.
yeah, and human, yeah, for sure.
Is she so did you learn did you always know that she had an autistic diagnosis? Is that did you
So
know that?
So for us, I think we caught it relatively early. There was one time early on, I think when she was like 1.5, 2, where she just wouldn't get out the tub. I would give her a bath and she would just kind of be zoned out, and she wouldn't get out the tub. And I randomly went on YouTube and I saw something about, you know, if your child doesn't do this, he or she may be autistic. And then shortly after that, maybe a few months later, her daycare was saying that she's not playing with any other kids. She's just, in her own world. And that led us to get testing. And we got a DNA test, and it revealed that she's missing a part of her chromosome. It's called the 22q deletion. It's called the Phelan McDermott syndrome. And I think when we found out um, that diagnosis, it was heartbreaking, obviously, but it definitely gave us some peace knowing kind of what it
Right.
was, because autism is this big, it's a spectrum,
Right.
and a lot of people I don't think have taken that DNA test um, to really get the deeper cause for some of these
Right.
delays and some of these issues. So, but for us, there was nothing we could have done. It was nothing about what food she ate or what she was exposed to. It was just something that happened, at conception, and yeah. But for now, for us, it's just advocating for her. She wants to be an author, and she wants to spread her message and find other kids like her and help them, kind of
Sure.
discover their voice.
Oh my gosh. And also for
Yeah.
parents, right? For parents to
Absolutely.
have that sense that okay, there could be a lot more going on here than we understand, and we just have to figure out how to tap into it.
Yeah.
Miss Sherry, can I say something?
Sure,
I
of
had the
course.
privilege. I had the privilege of going to New York to see Makayla on that day, and I watched all the videos. And then after the videos, the documentaries were shown, all of the producers and others were on stage. So Makayla was on stage with her father and the producer, and there was a interviewer. She was interviewing all the people who had presented their documentaries. And so when it came to Makayla's time, she asked Makayla what was her name and how did she feel. So Makayla can't speak, but she used her letterboard which is a chart with all the ABCs on it, and she spelled, "My name is Makayla, and I am a star. I am the star."
Hmm.
And that
Yeah.
resulted in everyone giving her a standing ovation. Now, we do have a book that we wrote about, I don't know, a year ago, and this is called When Makayla Smiles. This is a book that I wrote, but now Makayla is writing a book that's almost finished, and it's called This Is Why I Love You. And it's Makayla's responses to "This Is Why I Love Beyonce. This is why I love Van Gogh. This is why I love," she loves Hamilton,
Okay.
the play Hamilton. This
I
is why I
I'm with
love,
her. Yeah.
really, this is why I
Oh,
love
yeah.
Hamilton. This is why I love nature. This is why I love swimming. So
Yeah.
that should be finished hopefully in a couple of months. It's being illustrated now.
Okay.
And so look forward to Makayla's first book, as she once been author. So she's
Oh
one
my
already.
gosh.
It'll be released soon,
Oh
and
my
you get a
gosh.
copy of it.
I
Hmm.
can't wait. Well, I'm so curious to see the documentary. So, is it Maxine? Is that something we should show our students?
It would be awesome.
December. I think
It
it.
will show them. It will show them that although one has limitations and challenges, you can still be a star. You can still be a part of what's happening in the world and making a big difference. One of Michaela's goals is to share the letterboarding with thousands and thousands of people. There are thousands of people like Michaela who have not had the privilege of experiencing the letterboard. There are still thousands of people like Michaela who are still trapped in their
Right.
own body, in their own silence. So Michaela's goal is to share the letterboarding with people around the world.
So, if somebody's listening to this and they hear about letterboarding, where would you go to find out more information on that?
A good place is to go to MakaylaMovingAutism.com. We have resources there that will point you in the
Okay.
right direction and get you in contact with some of the spelling to communicate therapists around the country. It's a newer medium, um, and it's something that we're really trying to once again spread awareness about, and it works for our child. You know what I mean? So it's something to where you know the film is about her letterboarding, but to me it's more so a story of like perseverance, a story of hope, um, a story of just empathy for kids that just aren't able to express themselves, and hopefully people will take a second chance when they see a special needs child in public and just really think that there's something deeper to them,
Just
what they
what they
have.
see, right?
Yeah, for sure.
What they
So
see. Cree, one of the things that just popped up, and we had the experience with the class that Dr. Maxine and I are working with this summer. One of the kids brought up that their favorite. We asked them what their favorite Olympic experience or motivation story is right now, and one of
mm,
them was about athlete that had a challenge. I think they fell. They were a runner, and then their dad stepped in and supported them, and then it
yeah.
it helped them get to the next step. And the whole class was just so touched by that story about the support of their parents, and in this particular case, the dad. And so one of the things I'm just loving so much about this conversation is, how you and your wife have been there, and I know Dr. Maxine, and I'm sure Dr. Cain have been there, supporting Makayla regardless of her inability to speak,
Yeah.
right? And looking for
Yeah.
ways, looking for ways to just be there and help her be her best self, and and not giving up. That's a big deal.
Yeah. Yes, for sure. It's I always tell people, having a special needs child, it's like a marathon, and it's not like one quick fix, one easy thing. Sometimes you'll kind of work on one thing, uh, and then you got to work on something else. I remember, Makayla's motor skills weren't very good, so we spent some years working on her fine motor skills, like being able to um, button and do certain things. But now that led to her being able to take a key and open the door and run out the house. So it's always something,
Okay. Yeah.
you know, you know what I mean? It's always something. And for us, we still we still we still want her to use her voice, and we still want her to speak, and that's something that we continue to push for. We think that she has it in her. It's just gonna take a lot of practice, and she's delayed, but that doesn't mean that she's gonna be silent forever. As far as her, her speaking voice is just something that we're gonna continue to work on.
In the
Yes.
video that you will see that Makayla is up at 3 a.m. in the morning,
Oh.
running around the house going, hey,
Mm,
hey, hey.
mm,
And one day
mm,
I was with Makayla in her room,
mm,
and I said, Makayla, if you can wake up at 3 o'clock in the room in the morning, go, hey, hey,
mm.
hey,
Yeah.
you can definitely go, um, I,
Mm,
want to, there's a voice in there. There's
yeah.
a voice in there. And I think that she'll one day be able to use that voice. I think it's building up her confidence, to do that. Khari has a friend in Lansing that I know. This young man who's autistic was 13 years old and never spoken a word. And never, his dad is driving. His sister is in the back seat with the autistic young boy, and the little girl is going blah blah, his sister, blah 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 blah, oh blah blah, just running that mouth, this blah 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 blah, running that mouth. Excuse the phone. And guess what? The boy's first words were, had never spoken at all. His first
Mm,
words
Shut
were,
up
"Will
or
you
something.
shut up? Will you
mm,
shut up?" The dad stopped that car and got out and and he's been talking since then. And what Khari and his wife want to do is they want to build a facility, a resource place in Atlanta where where people can come and get information about autism. They first wanted a mobile place that went around the city,
Mm-hmm.
but they changed that, and now they're saying, let's build a site, a resource site where people of all socioeconomic backgrounds, especially those who can't afford what Khari and his wife afforded, to come and get those resources. So they're looking forward to finishing that project.
Wow, that's amazing. But this just in, um, a conversation, 20, 25 minutes. You've just inspired me about so much that's
mm,
possible, right?
Hmm.
It's and how and Maxine, this goes back to, what we teach to our students so much is that there are so many ways to be successful, and don't let your circumstances get in the way of them, or how to survive or thrive regardless of your circumstances. And actually, that's kind of where the joy of life comes, is figuring those things out, and and
Right.
and building community. I love the way you're building community and supporting other people with the work that you're doing.
Hmm.
And And the fact that we're having this conversation, one of the things with Good Fat Life is, we're a media company, and our whole purpose is to connect people who are doing amazing things like you guys are doing, with people who need help and are looking for those kinds of services and support, so that they can be their best selves. So,
Absolutely.
right?
Fortunately, Khari and his wife are able to afford the resources. And so one of their big concerns is trying to get information out to people who can't afford what they have provided for
Provided.
Makayla, and to get them the resources that they need as well. And at the end of the video, that mind is something else. That mind is powerful in so many ways. And at the end of the video, you'll see where Clarice's family was seated around the table asking Makayla questions.
Oh, I
And
bet.
one question they asked Makayla was, "Where do you want to go for your vacation?" And Makayla says, "I want to go to Mexico," and that's where they went. And then she puts a little bit of Spanish in there. So now, where did she learn how to speak Spanish? And then, but
Hmm.
listen to this. They ask her, "What language do you want to learn?" And you would think she wants to speak, French or Spanish. She wants to learn Russian.
And
Then
they're
they
like,
ask her,
where did
"Why?
that come from?
Where did it
Yeah.
come from?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Why do
Where
you
did that
want to?
come
Why?
from?
Why do you want to learn Russian?" She said,
Hmm.
"Because it's odd, like me."
Hmm. Hmm.
Oh my gosh. I
It's-
mean, I'm sitting here listening. I'm thinking of, you must have just had millions of questions
Oh yeah,
to
and
ask
it's
her.
and it's absolutely, and it's on a daily basis, and I think the big thing for her now is like she wants us to ask her questions, you know. Um, so that's the new thing. She's like, ask me questions. So
so, Kree, how is that done? And how does she
we just
respond?
well we typically just you write them down and or we sit at in one of her sessions with Roxy. Roxy is on maternity leave now,
Oh, she
but
is. Uh-huh.
yeah, she is. But yeah, it's all been once again it's very interesting. It's also very emotional too. Um, just kind of going through
Excuse me.
this and but we're happy for her. We're happy that for her to just be able to communicate what she's feeling. So
So
yeah, I
how
can't
is
wait
it?
for you to see the film.
I know. I can't wait to see it. And
I
so
know.
how has this changed your family dynamic?
Uh, you know what? I think that we don't baby her as much. We
Okay.
don't, cause she knows everything we're saying. You know what I mean?
Where
We're
you
like, come here,
didn't, when
Michaela.
you
Yeah,
didn't know that
we would think.
before.
Yeah, well now we know when we say, come here, Michaela, come put, come clean your room or come put this up. We know she knows what we're saying and she's just being disobedient. And she'll run away or something like that. So we're a little. Um, kind of hold her accountable a little bit more. We know that she has so much more in there, so we're just like, you could do this. And we just push her to have to do some of these things, and we oh, one big thing that we've since discovering that she could communicate is that now her goal is to, get a degree and go to college. These are things that we didn't know were possible before, and now we got her into this school that has the, high school curriculum, and we have, big plans for her to go to college and to keep pursuing whatever she wants to
What she
do.
wants to
And
do.
yeah, so yeah, we're I think it just motivated us to really continue to push and advocate for her and make sure that she's in the right setting and to set her up for success for later.
So what, just as we kind of wrap up, what would be just one thing that you would like people to know about, just know if they're having situations like what you are experiencing?
um I would just say, just to not to give up hope, and to keep praying, keep pushing, keep advocating for your child, no matter whatever the circumstances. Like I said earlier, each child is on a spectrum, and it's more about meeting them where they are and really trying to understand their world and see how you can make it better. But at the end of the day, just never give up fighting, never get complacent in thinking that um, your child can only do one thing, or they're only going to be one way for their whole life. It's just something that you have to work with them and get them in that habit, get them in the routine of hard work, and things can come from that. So that's what I would
A
say.
lot. Okay. And you,
Mhm.
Dr. Cain, I know you've always got a few last words.
I don't know, but I want to say that Roxy, her tutor, was seeing Makayla 3 times a week
Mm.
for an
Okay.
hour, and they were producing what's called transcripts. So I'll share with you a couple of Makayla's transcripts, and they
Okay.
are totally, totally awesome. I will just end by saying that mind is awesome. That Makayla is is on fire. That song, This Girl is on
On
Fire.
fire.
Yeah.
Makayla is on
Fire.
fire.
Uh-huh.
And we haven't seen is un the Michaela's world is unlimited. We have not seen, I don't want to say the best, we have not seen what Michaela really can do. Because
What's
that
Yeah.
girl
possible
is on fire.
on
What the
fire.
possibility?
Yeah.
Because that
Well,
girl is on fire.
oh my
Mm.
gosh. Well, I can't wait to see this documentary. And Maxine, yes, I think we need to show it to the class. Um,
Okay.
and if you can send the links so that our readers can see it, they can go to goodfatlife.com. We'll put a post in there. We'll put a permanent story in there that features
Okay.
Makayla and your story and the documentary. And Khari, thank you so much for being here and taking the time to talk to us and tell us your um, very inspired story.
Thank
So,
you. Thank you for having me.
yes. Oh my gosh, it was
Thank
my
you,
pleasure.
Michelle.
Yes, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. So, on that happy note,
Okay.
I just encourage everyone to go out and live their good fat life. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Sherry. Okay.